The battlefield lay in ruin, a jagged scar across the alien planet's surface. Smoke coiled like serpents from cratered streets, and the acrid tang of burning metal stung every inhale. Captain Elias Vorn crouched behind the shattered remains of a fallen mech, scanning the horizon through his visor. His jaw was tight, eyes sharp beneath a helmet smeared with soot. Every instinct screamed that this was not a battle humans were meant to survive, but they had to. Beside him, Sergeant Malik Torres was checking their dwindling ammunition, his fingers moving with precise, practiced motions. Malik's dark eyes flicked between Vorn and the advancing alien forms. "We've held them off longer than anyone predicted," he muttered. "But I don't like the silence behind the next wave. It's always worse than the first." Dean Hayes, young and eager, ducked behind the rubble of a collapsed building, rifle clutched tightly. "I say we push forward while they're regrouping," he said, voice tinged with both fear and adrenaline. His optimism was a brittle shield against the horrors around them. "We can finish this." Vorn shook his head.
"No."
"We hold position. The reinforcements are supposed to arrive. We buy them time." His voice was calm, authoritative, yet threaded with the unspoken truth. They might not see them alive. The fourth soldier, Private Aric Shaw, adjusted his sniper rifle, eyes scanning the distance with meticulous patience. He had seen enough death to understand the rhythm of a battlefield. The silence between attacks often carried more danger than the fighting itself. A flicker of movement caught his eye, and he raised a hand. 3 o'clock, he said quietly, voice carrying the weight of experience. From the shadows, alien silhouettes emerged, tall, multi-limbed creatures that seemed both organic and mechanical. Their mandibles clicked in a synchronized pattern, a sound that grated against the soldiers' nerves. Vorn took a deep breath and signaled the squad. They opened fire in unison, rifles barking, plasma bolts tearing through the smoky air. Aliens fell, some disintegrating in bursts of green acid, others collapsing with eerie precision. The battle raged in a chaotic dance. Smoke, fire, and the sharp scent of ozone filled every crevice. Each human movement was calculated, the product of years of training and instinct. Dean lunged forward to assist a wounded squad mate, while Malik held the line, picking off attackers before they could close in. Shaw's shots were precise, each alien falling exactly where he aimed, the echo of his rifle punctuating the chaos. Vorn moved between them, directing and coordinating. Every decision weighed heavily. One wrong call could mean the end for all of them. "Keep your heads down. Watch the flanks," he barked. He noticed the way Dean's hands trembled, a sign that the younger soldier was teetering on the edge of panic. Elias offered a brief nod of reassurance. "Steady. You've got this, Hayes. Focus." Hours passed, though the sun barely pierced the thick, dust-choked sky. The squad's energy waned, yet they fought with the stubborn resilience that defined humanity. Each breath was measured, each movement deliberate. The aliens pressed forward, relentless, their numbers seemingly infinite. Yet the humans adapted, using debris as cover, exploiting blind spots in the attackers' coordination. A sudden, deafening screech sliced through the air, and the ground shook. One of the alien brutes, larger than the others, surged forward, its limbs ending in sharp, serrated edges. It smashed through cover, scattering debris and sending shards of metal flying. Vorn stepped into its path, raising his plasma blade, the humming energy crackling as he braced for impact. Malik fired rapidly from the side, drawing the brute's attention just long enough for Vorn to strike. The clash was brutal. Sparks flew as metal met energy. The brute roared in a sound that was almost intelligent, almost human in its fury. Finally, Vorn's blade pierced a vital joint, and the creature collapsed, twitching in its death throes. Dean exhaled sharply. "Captain, do you think the reinforcements will get here in time?" His voice carried a tremor that only heightened the tension. Vorn wiped sweat from his brow, his gaze sweeping the horizon. "They better, or we won't make it out of this alive." He clenched his jaw, the weight of command heavy on his shoulders. "Hold position. We fight until they arrive, no matter the cost. Shaw lowered his rifle for a moment, scanning the battlefield with a somber expression. They're coming, he said, though his tone suggested he was more a believer in hope than certainty. Silence fell briefly, broken only by distant explosions and the occasional alien screech. It was the pause before the next storm, and in that stillness, every man on the squad felt the same thought creeping in. Something was different this time. Too many of the alien waves had fallen with almost unnatural precision, their bodies eerily still, their movements suddenly absent. Vorn's eyes narrowed. Something's not right. Malik's lips pressed into a thin line. I was thinking the same. It doesn't make sense. Where's the usual chaos? The screaming? Dean swallowed hard, glancing at the distant ridge where reinforcements were supposed to appear. Maybe they got wiped out before anyone even saw them? Vorn shook his head.
No.
Something else. Wait and watch. We'll know soon enough. As the squad braced themselves for the next wave, or what they hoped would be salvation, an ominous hush settled across the battlefield. The smoke seemed thicker, the shadows darker. Each man's heart beat with anticipation, fear, and the grim knowledge that, in the void of space, humanity's survival often depended on more than courage. It depended on timing, luck, and the unyielding will to endure. And somewhere beyond the ridge, the first silhouettes of reinforcements appeared, cutting through the horizon. But the squad could not yet know. The real battle had only just begun. The distant silhouettes grew larger, dark against the smoke-choked sky. Vorn squinted through his visor, noting the sleek lines of the dropships descending with precise, almost unervingly smooth maneuvers. Relief rippled through the squad, but it was tempered by instinct. Something about the silence on the battlefield refused to settle in the chest like normal hope. Malik adjusted his weapon, eyes narrowing. Look at them, he muttered. Not a single shot fired yet. No calm chatter. Nothing. Dean's voice carried a forced enthusiasm. That's good, right? They're here, we're saved. But even as he spoke, his fingers tightened around the grip of his rifle. Something in the way the soldiers disembarked from the dropships didn't feel natural. They moved methodically, with a precision that almost erased any sign of human hesitation. Vorn's eyes scanned the newcomers. Advanced armor, sleek design, integrated energy shields, equipment that he had only read about in classified reports. These were elite reinforcements, yes, but the way they carried themselves, almost machine-like, raised a quiet alarm in the captain's mind. Shaw's rifle was already trained on a cluster of alien corpses, and his voice was low and cautious. They're all dead. Every last one. Not a single living alien remains. He tilted his head, inspecting the bodies. And no wounds consistent with normal combat. Look at this, almost surgical. Something else did this. Dean glanced at the corpses, swallowing hard. Wait, if they're all dead already, then why are we even here? Why send reinforcements? Malik's gaze darkened. Because someone wants to make sure we don't find out what really happened. Or worse, they're not just here to help. Vorn moved forward cautiously, signaling the squad to stay alert. The reinforcements approached, their visors glinting in the dim, polluted light. When one of them finally spoke, the voice was calm, precise, lacking warmth. Captain Vorn, we've come to secure the site. All alien threats are neutralized. Neutralized? Vorn's tone was skeptical. We can see that. But tell me, by whom? The soldier's visor flickered briefly, as if processing the question. By standard containment protocols. No further threats exist. All objectives completed. Vorn's jaw tightened. Containment protocols? Explain. The man paused, motionless for a heartbeat too long. That information is classified. Follow protocol for evacuation and assessment. Shaw's eyes met Vorn's, and he spoke without looking away from the strange soldiers. Captain, there's something off about them. Too controlled. Too clean. Watch their movements. Dean's voice trembled, excitement and fear tangled together. Do you think they're like us? Malik's laugh was hollow, sharp. No, Hayes. They're not just like us. Watch and learn. There's a difference between human instinct and whatever that is. The squad moved cautiously alongside the reinforcements, stepping over the remains of the fallen aliens. The silence pressed against them, heavier than the smoke and ash. Even the wind seemed reluctant to disturb the dead air. Vorn gestured toward a collapsed alien command center. "We need a closer look. You with me?" The leader of the reinforcements tilted his head, expression unreadable. "Only if it falls within operational protocols." As they entered the ruins, the signs of devastation became clearer. Walls were scorched with patterns that didn't match human or alien weaponry. Machinery that should have been destroyed was eerily intact, humming faintly as if powered by some invisible current. Shaw crouched, scanning the floor with a handheld analyzer. "Captain, these readings, they're not normal. Look at the energy signatures. None of this matches our weapons or theirs. Someone or something altered them." Dean swallowed, glancing at Malik. "So, what? Did the reinforcements do this? Or," his words faltered. Malik cut him off with a sharp gesture. "Don't speculate. Observe. That's your job." Vorn moved forward, eyes flicking between the bodies, the ruins, and the reinforcements. A sense of unease gnawed at him. "We need to know what happened before we celebrate victory," he said. "No assumptions. No trust until we see the facts." A sudden hum echoed through the chamber, low and resonant, vibrating in the walls. The reinforcements froze momentarily, then continued their movements, methodical and unfaltering. The sound seemed to come from the corpses themselves. The alien bodies were radiating energy, faint and unnatural, as if something dormant had been activated. Shaw whispered, voice tight. "They're alive in some way. Not fully, but something's in them." Dean's eyes widened. "You're kidding, right?" Malik shook his head slowly. "No. That's why they were wiped out so perfectly. Whoever or whatever did this didn't want witnesses. And now we have reinforcements acting strangely. That's no coincidence." Vorn drew a slow breath. "We move carefully. Observe, document, survive. If this is a trap, or worse, an experiment, we make sure humanity doesn't walk blindly into it." The reinforcements finished securing the perimeter and turned to Vorn, visors gleaming. "Perimeter secure. No threats detected. Awaiting further orders." The captain's mind raced. Every instinct, every battle-honed sense told him that the calm was dangerous. The squad exchanged glances, unspoken questions passing between them. Dean finally broke the silence, voice small and uncertain. "Captain, why does it feel like we're walking into something bigger than this battle? Like we're too late?" Vorn's eyes darkened, and he gave a grim nod. "Because we probably are. But we're the ones left to see it through. Whatever comes next, we have to be ready." Outside, the wind carried the faint hiss of alien technology, subtle and persistent. The battlefield lay quiet, the enemy gone, but the human soldiers felt the weight of a new, invisible threat pressing down on them. Victory had arrived with the reinforcements, but at what cost? And in the shadows of the ruins, something stirred, faint and deliberate, watching, waiting. The ruins were silent now, the acrid smoke giving way to a chilling stillness. Vorn led the squad deeper into the alien command center, the reinforcements trailing in measured steps behind them. Every footfall echoed, a hollow reminder that the battlefield's chaos had vanished entirely. The silence was unnatural, oppressive, as if the world itself were holding its breath. Shaw crouched over a fragment of alien machinery, fingers tracing intricate glyphs etched into the metal. "These markings, they're not just decorative," he murmured. "They're active. Some kind of energy modulation. Someone or something used this to kill the aliens." "Precisely. Efficiently. Too efficiently." Dean leaned in, eyes wide with a mix of fascination and dread. "So, the reinforcements didn't kill them?" Malik's expression darkened. "Doesn't matter. Whoever did this wanted it done cleanly. We're talking levels of planning and power humans weren't supposed to have here." He glanced at the reinforcements, watching their silent, methodical movements. "And they're hiding something. I can feel it. Vorn's mind raced, connecting fragments of observation. The battlefield, the corpses, the unervingly calm reinforcements, it all hinted at manipulation far beyond ordinary warfare. We need proof, he said. If we confront them blindly, we're risking everything. The squad moved toward a central chamber, a large hall lined with alien consoles and holographic projectors. The air shimmered faintly, charged with residual energy. Vorn gestured for caution. Keep your weapons ready. Nothing in here should be trusted. Shaw activated a portable scanner, sweeping over the room. The device beeped frantically, lights blinking in warning. Captain, the energy readings, they're not natural. It's like the aliens were neutralized on a molecular level, then stabilized. Almost preserved. Dean swallowed, voice trembling. Preserved? You mean like frozen? Exactly, Shaw said. And it's deliberate. Not random. Someone wanted them gone, but intact. Something controlled, surgical. We're dealing with a level of precision humans don't normally achieve in combat. Malik ran a hand through his hair. And our reinforcements? Look at them. They move like machines, act like they're part of a protocol. Too perfect. Too calm. I'm telling you, this isn't just a battle cleanup. This is an experiment. Vorn felt a cold weight settle over him. If that's true, then humanity might already be a subject in someone else's plan. His eyes swept over the squad. We need to gather evidence. Document what we can, understand what's happening, and survive long enough to report it. A low hum rose from one of the alien consoles, drawing everyone's attention. The reinforcements paused, visors flickering briefly. One of them reached toward the console, and a holographic map flickered to life. It displayed the battlefield, alien positions, and, disturbingly, the exact locations of a human squad. Dean froze. Why do they know where we are? Malik's voice was sharp. Because they've been tracking us. Since the beginning. Shaw's scanner beeped again, and he frowned. Captain, energy spikes. Not just in the consoles. The corpses, the air, someone's still active here, controlling the environment. Vorn's jaw tightened. That explains the silence. They didn't just kill the aliens, they're still maintaining control. The battlefield isn't just cleared, it's engineered. We're walking through a cage we didn't see until now. The squad exchanged uneasy glances. Dean swallowed and whispered, So, the reinforcements, they're part of it? Malik's eyes narrowed. They're either tools or subjects. Either way, we can't trust them. Vorn motioned for the squad to split cautiously. Shaw and Dean moved toward the console to extract data, while Vorn and Malik covered the entryway. The reinforcements remained in the background, silent observers, their presence a constant reminder of the unknown variable. Shaw's hands flew over the scanner controls, and fragments of alien schematics appeared. Energy channels, control nodes, and a series of unfamiliar coordinates scrolled across the screen. Captain, this isn't just a weapon. It's a system. They've turned the battlefield into a network, an automated kill field. That's why every alien died before reinforcements arrived. Dean's voice shook. So, everything we saw was already decided? Programmed? Vorn's eyes hardened. Yes. And if that system can control aliens, it can control humans too. Or worse, the reinforcements themselves may already be compromised. We can't assume anything is normal anymore. A sudden flicker caught Shaw's eye. One of the alien corpses twitched slightly, an unnatural movement that made his stomach churn. Captain, alive. Or, partially alive. Some kind of containment is holding them in place. I don't know how, but it's active. And it's spreading energy through the room. Malik cursed under his breath. We need to move. Whatever this is, it's not finished. We've triggered something by being here. Vorn nodded. We continue cautiously, but we're not leaving without answers. Document everything, take nothing at face value. Humanity survives through observation, adaptation, and courage. That's the advantage we still hold. The squad pressed on, deeper into the chamber, while the reinforcements continued their silent march. Vorn felt a gnawing unease. This mission had shifted. The aliens were gone, but the true enemy had yet to reveal itself. And the line between ally and threat had blurred beyond recognition. As they reached the central core, the source of the hum became apparent. A massive alien device pulsed with energy, its structure both mechanical and organic. Shafts of light shot across the walls, revealing conduits that snaked into every part of the battlefield outside. Vorn's breath caught. "Everything we've fought," he murmured, "was part of this. Someone engineered it. Someone designed it to be perfect. Too perfect." Dean swallowed hard. "So, what now?" Vorn's eyes met each of their faces. "Now, we survive. We understand. And when the time comes, we fight back, on our terms." The hum intensified, and the shadows of the reinforcements stretched across the walls like silent sentinels. The squad knew that what had killed the aliens was not finished. And as the room vibrated with a pulse of alien energy, a chilling certainty settled over them. The real test of humanity had only just begun. The core thrummed with energy, a living heartbeat that filled the chamber with a low, resonant pulse. Vorn's boots crunched against alien debris as he stepped closer, his eyes scanning every conduit and alien glyph that snaked across the walls. The reinforcements had formed a silent semicircle around the device, visors glinting, their posture rigid, inhuman. Malik's hand hovered over his rifle, fingers tight. "Captain, we've been walking into a trap this whole time. I told you." His voice was a mixture of frustration and fear, but also grim determination. "Whatever this thing is, it's not just controlling the battlefield. It's controlling them." Shaw crouched near the energy core, scanning the fluctuating readings. "It's interfacing with the reinforcements' neural systems. They're partially linked. Not fully autonomous. The system can control them." He swallowed hard. "If it can do this to soldiers, imagine what it could do to civilians, humans unprepared, unarmored." Dean's hands shook as he adjusted his weapon. "So, they're not bad people?" His voice barely carried. "They're just puppets?" Vorn shook his head. "Doesn't matter. A controlled human is still a threat. We deal with the immediate danger first. Then we find the truth." The reinforcements moved simultaneously, advancing toward the squad in perfect synchronization. Each step was deliberate, methodical, like clockwork. Yet their eyes, glowing faintly through visors, hinted at faint traces of hesitation. Malik growled, "Captain, they're coming for us." Vorn steadied his rifle. "Let them. We've adapted to worse. Stick to the plan, observe, adapt, survive." Shaw and Dean flanked the energy core, scanning for weaknesses. The hum intensified, pulsing through their bones, but Vorn noticed something subtle. The conduits feeding the field had tiny interruptions, gaps where a human could exploit the system. "There," he said, pointing. "That's our opening." The squad moved quickly, silently coordinating. Dean ducked under a sweeping energy beam and jammed a portable disruptor into one of the conduits. Sparks erupted, and a ripple of disturbance shook the reinforcements. Two of them faltered, their movements stuttering for the first time. Malik opened fire with precision, taking advantage of the disruption. Each shot was deliberate, human, unpredictable. The reinforcements tried to recover, but their synchronization faltered against the humans' ingenuity. Vorn surged forward, energy blade raised, cutting through another controlled soldier with minimal hesitation. Each strike was efficient, precise, but his heart weighed heavy with the knowledge that these were men like him, just victims of circumstance. Shaw's scanner beeped frantically. "Captain, core destabilizing. This thing is overloading. If we don't shut it down completely, it could fry everything in the sector." Dean glanced at the flickering conduits. "We do it now, or we all die trying." Vorn nodded, voice calm but commanding. "Then we do it now. Cover each other. Focus. Humanity survives because we adapt, we improvise, and we fight with what we have." The squad moved as a unit. Shaw disrupted the secondary conduits, Dean and Malik provided cover, and Vorn reached the primary interface. Sparks, light, and a pulse of energy erupted as he jammed the disruptor deep into the core. The hum became a shriek, then fractured into silence. The reinforcements collapsed to their knees, visors dimming as the control link severed. Some convulsed briefly, then slumped fully conscious, human again but disoriented. The aliens remained motionless, their containment nullified. The battlefield was quiet, finally, truly quiet. Vorn lowered his blade, chest heaving. "Everyone okay?" His voice was rough but steady. Malik wiped sweat from his brow.
"For now."
But that was too close. Too controlled. Shaw nodded, scanning the core one last time. The system is dead. But it wasn't natural. Whoever made this wanted perfection. And that scares me more than the aliens ever could. Dean exhaled shakily. So we stopped it. But someone somewhere might build another. Vorn's gaze hardened, eyes scanning the horizon beyond the ruins. Then we make sure humanity is ready. We don't wait. We don't rely on luck or chance. We adapt. We fight smarter. That's what it means to survive. Malik glanced at the disoriented reinforcements, now human and vulnerable. "Captain, what do we do with them?" Vorn's hand rested briefly on his blade before he spoke. "We save them. They're victims too. But we keep our eyes open. Everyone who touched that system has knowledge that can't be ignored. We report. We contain. We prepare." Shaw's voice was quieter, thoughtful. "And the aliens? The battlefield, the corpses?" Vorn shook his head. "We leave them. Lessons learned, nothing more. Humanity doesn't erase what we don't understand. We adapt, we survive, and we remember. That's the difference." Dean's eyes scanned the sky, the ruined horizon, the faint glow of distant fires. "Do you think there's more of this out there?" Vorn didn't answer immediately. He knew there was more. This encounter was a warning, a prelude to something larger. But his resolve was unwavering. "Doesn't matter. If there is, humanity will face it, and we will survive. That's what we do." The squad stood together, battered but unbroken, in the shadow of the alien ruins. The reinforcements, now freed from the control field, blinked at them, uncertain and raw. The hum of the battlefield was gone, replaced by the quiet whisper of wind through broken metal and stone. Vorn looked at each of his men, pride and exhaustion intermingling. "We've survived the impossible," he said. "But survival isn't enough anymore. We learn. We grow. And next time we're ready." The camera of thought, the battlefield, the ruins, the empty sky, held a single truth. The enemy may be gone, but the war for humanity's survival had only just begun. And as the squad moved toward the distant ridge where reinforcements had first appeared, a new certainty settled over them. Vigilance, ingenuity, and courage were the only weapons humanity could trust.